The diplomatic vessel Harmony's Bridge had been Oliver's home for 3 standard years. As the only human medical officer aboard a ship crewed by 17 different species, he'd seen his share of unusual cases. But nothing had prepared him for the day he saved Lena's life and inadvertently changed the course of galactic history. It happened during a routine supply stop at Station Kepler 442. Oliver was reviewing inventory in the med bay when the emergency alert pierced through the ship's calm atmosphere. A crew member had collapsed in the cargo hold. Environmental suit malfunction, possible asphyxiation. He grabbed his kit and ran. Lena lay motionless on the cold deck plating, her rust-colored fur matted with frost, her vulpine features slack. The Kitsara were a proud species, fox-like beings whose 9 systems formed a crucial alliance block in the Galactic Council. Oliver had worked with Lena for 2 years, appreciated her sharp wit and sharper navigational skills. Now her chest wasn't moving. "How long has she been down?" Oliver demanded, dropping to his knees beside her. 3 minutes, maybe 4, stammered Jex, the crystalline engineer, his faceted body refracting the emergency lights into anxious rainbows. Oliver's hands moved on autopilot. He checked her airway, tilted her elegant muzzle back, and began CPR. Kitsara physiology was close enough to mammalian that the principles held: 30 compressions, 2 breaths. His lips met her cold muzzle as he forced air into her lungs, tasting the sharp metallic tang of the station's emergency oxygen that had failed her. Compress, compress, breathe. The rhythm was meditative, desperate. On the 4th cycle, Lena's body convulsed. Her amber eyes snapped open, wide and wild. Before she coughed violently and sucked in a ragged breath, Oliver sat back on his heels, his own heart hammering. "Easy," he murmured, steadying her as she struggled to sit up. "You're okay? You're safe." Her eyes locked onto his, something unreadable flickering in their depths. Then her gaze darted away, and she whispered a phrase in her native tongue that the translator rendered as "debt bond acknowledged." Oliver thought nothing of it. He was just relieved she'd survived. That was 6 weeks ago. The summons to the captain's ready room came without warning. Oliver found himself facing not just Captain Thorne, a massive Hectarian whose species resembled upright bears, but also Lena, the ship's counselor Mira, and a holographic projection of what appeared to be a very important Kitsara official. "Dr. Oliver Chen," the hologram began, its formal tone making Oliver's stomach clench. "I am Matriarch Yenna of the Kitsara High Council. We have a matter of unprecedented significance to discuss." Oliver glanced at Lena. She sat rigid, her tail wrapped tight around her body, ears flat against her skull. She looked terrified. "6 weeks ago," the matriarch continued, "you performed an emergency medical procedure on navigator Lena Risara. This act, while medically sound by human standards, has had unexpected consequences." Consequences? Oliver's mind raced through possible complications. Had he damaged her somehow? Caused some delayed trauma? Lena finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm pregnant, Oliver." The words hung in the air like a gravitational anomaly, warping everything around them. That's not possible," Oliver stammered. "We're different species." "The biological incompatibility alone? Under normal circumstances, you would be correct," the matriarch interjected. "However, you must understand something crucial about Kitsara biology. For the past century, our species has suffered from a crisis, a genetic bottleneck that has rendered 70% of our females infertile. Lena was among them. She had accepted that she would never bear children. Oliver's scientific mind struggled to process this. But how could CPR? Humans, the matriarch said. And for the first time, Oliver detected something like wonder in her voice. Are genetically promiscuous in a way that defies our understanding of evolutionary biology. Your DNA doesn't just carry your genetic code, it carries something else. A adaptability factor, a kind of biological optimism encoded at the molecular level. Counselor Mira, a gentle lumina whose bioluminescent patterns pulsed with emotional resonance, added softly, "When you breathed your air into Lena, when your cells made contact with hers at such a critical moment of death and rebirth, something extraordinary happened. Your genetic material didn't try to combine with hers, that would be impossible. Instead, it acted as a catalyst. A jumpstart," Captain Thorne rumbled. "Like using one ship's power core to restart another's." Oliver looked at Lena, seeing her with new eyes. The baby?
It's fully Kitsara?
She nodded, one hand moving protectively to her still flat abdomen. Genetically, yes. DNA tests confirm it, but the child carries something, an echo of what you gave me. Not your genes, but your species' gift. Her voice cracked. Oliver, I never thought I'd be a mother. My entire life I carried that grief. And then you gave me back more than my life. The matriarch's hologram leaned forward. Dr. Chen, the Galactic Council must understand what has happened here. Humanity has been spacefaring for barely a century. You've been considered a young species, eager but unremarkable. Now we discover that your very biology carries the potential to heal one of the galaxy's greatest crises. Oliver felt the weight of civilization settling onto his shoulders. You want to study this, to see if it can be replicated. We want to offer hope, the matriarch corrected gently. With your permission and Lena's, we would like to understand this phenomenon. But more than that, we want the galaxy to know what humans are truly capable of. Oliver thought about all the times he'd felt inadequate aboard the Harmony's bridge. Humans had no natural armor like the Hectarians, no crystalline computational minds like Jex's people, no 9 lives resilience like the Kitsara. They were soft, short-lived, and fragile. But perhaps that fragility was itself a kind of strength. Perhaps being a species that had to adapt or die, generation after generation, had encoded something precious into their very cells, the refusal to accept impossibility. Lena, Oliver said quietly, how do you feel about all this? She met his gaze, and this time she didn't look away. Terrified, grateful, hopeful. A small smile curved her muzzle. Very human emotions, I think. Oliver laughed despite himself. Yeah, very human. 3 months later, when Lena's daughter was born, a healthy kit with her mother's amber eyes and an unusually strong constitution, the news rippled across the galaxy. The Kitsara called her Miracle. The humans called her Hope. But Oliver simply called her the first of many proofs that humanity's greatest gift to the stars wasn't their technology or their tenacity. It was their stubborn biological insistence that life finds a way.